right there. See that book? The Federalist and the Anti-Federalist Papers. If you want to get into the mind of the Constitution, if you want to get into the brain behind the Constitution, you have to read that book. When you read that book, you're going to find the fears of our founders. Our founders were very afraid of political revenge. As a matter of fact, James Madison, in that book, when you read Federalist Paper number 43, you're going to find out why Donald Trump is absolutely immune from prosecution. It's so easy to understand when you read the Federalist Papers, especially number 43. In number 43, there's a warning from James Madison, one of our brilliant founders, against never-ending political retribution as the framers were concerned about. What did Madison hope to accomplish in our Constitution? He wanted to avoid completely the endless cycle of political revenge. And I'm going to quote what he said. Political revenge has been the great engine by which violent factions have usually wreaked their malignity on each other. So what's he saying? I'll break it down to modern English. Malignity is their antagonism, their hatred of one another. How do they destroy one another? They do it with political revenge. That was their great fear. So let's fast forward now 235 years after that book behind me was written, or those papers were written. And we will go to Washington right now, or New York City, wherever you want to go, and you will find out Madison's fear is playing out in the day that you live in. What is happening now is what he was afraid of, okay? So, what was their solution to their fear? It was called impeachment. Let me explain it like this. Criminal charges are a political tool. They just are, and everybody knows it, okay? To neutralize a political opponent. It happens in banana republics all day, every day. The Constitution protects the presidency from prosecution. What is another name for prosecution? Political prosecution. All presidents must be protected from that. Even Joe Biden. Everyone must be protected from that. So, our brilliant founders created a process to take the power of prosecution away from prosecutors and place that power in the hands of the people through our elected representatives in an impeachment process. This process protects presidents criminally and civilly. Now, they were wise enough, those great founders, to leave a check and a balance. So you're like, well, if they cannot be prosecuted, then what's the check and balance to protect us from these stupid, these people talk about, well, could he kill somebody? Could he do this? Could he do that? If it were not for our Constitution, he could, but our Constitution created a process called impeachment. And here's what impeachment does. If you are impeached, then when you become impeached, you lose your protection. You totally lose your protection because you're now an impeached president. You were found guilty through impeachment, and that protection is removed from you. But luckily, Donald Trump has never been impeached. Now, he would have been impeached If God, in his sovereign knowledge, would not have allowed 2020 to get stolen, if God would not have allowed that, Donald Trump would have been impeached the next morning and become totally vulnerable to these political attacks. Here's how impeachment works. If you are impeached, you have lost all of your presidential protection. But Donald Trump is not impeached. He's never been impeached. And therefore, if you're going to, no, Patty, Bill Clinton was not impeached. Remember, it failed in the Senate. A president's not impeached until it goes through both houses. All right? So, what we need to all understand is this. If a president commits a crime, if he commits a crime, he will be impeached. That is his prosecution. It takes it out of the hands of prosecutors, puts it in the hands of the people. We judge our presidents through our elected representatives. Donald Trump has already been to trial in the Senate over these very things and was found innocent. Therefore, double jeopardy comes into play. He cannot be tried again. In the Supreme Court of the United States of America right now, this is being decided. So, this is why presidents cannot be prosecuted unless they are impeached fully. Otherwise, they have complete immunity from civil and criminal prosecution. Do you know if 2020 would not have happened, Donald Trump would have been impeached the very next morning by both houses because of January the 6th, and he would have lost all immunity. God is always one step ahead of our enemies. Have a great day.